Do you want me to let people?
Okay, everyone, we're going to get started, and today we are covering Postcards Plus. I think that most of you have probably used this more than any of us. You're probably using this every time a new agent comes in, every time there's a listing or sale in the office, but Postcards Plus is found on GoHanna under Marketing, and it says Hannah Postcards Plus. Pretty easy to find. So Postcards Plus is a program for your agents to do direct mail to their sphere of influence, their farm areas, their neighbors, whoever it is they want to be getting a message out to. It could be a message about their new listings, their new sales. It could be general messages about holidays and sending recipe cards just so they're staying top of mind with the people that they want to do business with. So I am going to go ahead and get to an agent profile so that we can go over your homework. So number one, you needed to make a geographic farm using 3 streets. So if an agent wants to start using Postcards Plus and create a geographic farm, they're going to go down to My Lists, and you did this as well. My Lists, and we're going to create a new list. If they already created a list, it'll stay in the system under Saved List. So under New List, we're going to create what we would call a geographic farm. We can create a new one, or if they have a CSV file of their current area, their farm area, their neighborhood, their sphere of influence, whatever it might be, they can actually just upload those names, addresses, what have you. But we're going to create a geographic area, and you can do it by 3 different methods. You can do it by map, mail, streets, or zip codes. For your homework, we were instructed to do it by streets. Using streets is going to be targeting a specific area, and you obviously need to know the name of the streets. If you're going to use map mail, which was one of your questions, what's the difference between map mail and streets? Map mail is going to be used to target a much more vast area. You might want to do it in more rural areas, or if you're really canvassing and throwing everything out there to see what sticks, you might use map mail and map it out. So right now, what is mapped out here is this address. So when your agent goes in there, it may automatically put an address in there. So be aware of that. I am not currently at 8413 Perry Highway. This is actually the North Hills office. And if you saw, I went under Dave Tumpa. Dave Tumpa, North Hills office, is that actual address. So please be aware that it might auto-populate or keep something in there from the last time the program was used. So pay attention to that and make sure that they put in the area that they want. So if I wanted to change it to 15229, it's going to map out the entire zip code area of 15229, and I could change the diagram, mapping it out any way that I want to. Most people are not going to use this method because it actually yields pretty much a large number of results that they probably are not going to want to pay for. So we are going to go ahead and use the example of streets as opposed to map mail. But again, map mail is for a larger area, might be a more rural area, and you're canvassing a much greater geographic region. So we're going to go to streets instead. And under the profile, the demographics, you can edit this, and they can select who they actually want to mail to, okay? They may want to mail to renters because those are potential buyers. If they're targeting only sellers, then obviously they're going to keep it at homeowners only. So they have that option, just know that it's there. I'm not going to edit it. So I'm going to go ahead and name my area. It's going to be my geographical farm. And I'm not going to correct any spelling or grammar errors while we're going to make this quicker. So they're going to name their area, go to the next step. And your task was to choose 3 different streets with starting with 3 different letters. So I live on the corner of Lehigh and Fordham. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select L. L is going to bring up every street in 15229 that starts with L. I'm going to select my L, and unfortunately you can't select more than 1 at a time unless you're selecting all. So I'm going to add my Lehigh Avenue. I want to mail to my neighbors, so I'm going to select my Lehigh. And now I'm on the corner of Fordham, so I'm just going back right here in the middle to my letters or my numbers. I'm selecting the F. It's going to pull up all the streets in 15229 with F. There's Fordham, adding it to my easy farm, they call it. And lastly, to get a 3rd street, Amherst is right behind me. So I'm going to go ahead and select A for Amherst. It's going to show me all of the streets with A's in 15229. I select Amherst, add it to my easy farm. So what we've now created an easy farm, a geographical area with 3 different streets starting with 3 different letters. Now, if this was not part of your homework, but I'm going to point it out to you, you can view and remove particular addresses. So since I live in this neighborhood, if I wanted to remove, whoops, wrong one. If I wanted to remove particular addresses, let me go back. I would go ahead and select view or remove specific addresses. So if there's already a house listed, maybe the agent doesn't want to mail to it. Maybe they know that there's another agent that lives in their neighborhood and maybe they don't want to mail to them. They could actually go ahead and deselect by moving the address over to eliminate that particular address from the list. Okay, so they would have to know the neighborhood pretty well in order to do that, but it could save them some money in the long run if they were to go ahead and do that. But that is an option for them to go ahead and remove particular addresses for particular reasons. So we have our easy farm created. It will save in their list so that they can go back to it at a later time. So creating a geographic farm and using map mail versus streets was number 1. If we go back to the dashboard, your next assignment was, where do you order business cards, door hangers, or brochures? Oh, didn't want to do that, sorry. Okay, so you can order anything from the ship to me printing. Okay, so under ship to me printing, you will have different options to order. If an agent wanted to have flyers in their new listing, they could order those. Business cards, if you have new agents and you're ordering business cards for them, or experienced agent has a new picture, they want new business cards, that's where you would go. Door hangers, if they are canvassing neighborhoods, brochures, everything right here is where you're going to be able to order those items, and they will ship to the office, okay? But we are going to go and we are going to create a postcard to actually ship, okay? So if I go to postcards, one of your questions was, what's the difference, size difference between a jumbo and a standard? And forgive me, I'm not as skilled in this program as all of you, but we'll get to that in a minute. But if I want to go ahead and send a postcard, we're just going to go to our products. I actually think I'm in the wrong section. I heard someone talking. Someone want to help me out, or they want to correct me? Natalie, was there something there?
No, I don't see anyone talking.
Okay, good. I heard someone, so someone's got audio that they can speak. So, ship to me auto mail. Help me out. I thought it was under products for shipping on demand. All right, on demand direct mail. So if I want just listed postcard, I'm just going to go to that section. You probably are sending just listed, just sold on your agent's sales and listings in the office. But if an agent wanted to go in here, do it on their own, increase the number, pay on their own, they're going to come in here to be able to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and select just listed. It's going to allow the agent to put a specific MLS number or select from their list of inventory of sales and listings. So I'm just, the most recent sale or listing is going to be at the bottom. So I'm just going to choose perhaps the newest listing in the inventory, go to next step. It's going to show the agent what they've selected. It gives them the option to be single or dual agent on the card, meaning more than one face or picture. It's going to automatically populate what is listed on the card as a template. The agent can go ahead and change the language in here, which they probably should, so that it has a call to action that is appropriate to what they want to say, appropriate to their personality or what have you. So make sure that they are checking it and make sure they are using the spell check. If they want to change the photo, they can go ahead and do that. It's only going to pull the photos that were with the actual listing. Okay, so everything looks fine. If they're not making changes, they can go ahead and preview it from a couple different spots, top right or at the bottom. When they go to review it, it's automatically going to download for them. So make sure, some agents don't realize that, or some are not as tech savvy. So down in the bottom left-hand corner is their actual preview. So make sure that they can find it if they're having trouble. And then they definitely want to preview it for accuracy, making sure that it is how they want it to present. So that is going to be it to ordering the cards. They can save that card to their library, and it's going to actually ask them to check that they've reviewed it for proof. Okay, there's no saying I didn't want that to say that or anything like that. They're going to hit continue. Oh, it's making me do it. And I probably just ordered that card inadvertently. Anyway, those are the steps to completing a postcard. Should the agents have any questions during that process, I don't know how many agents are going to actually ask you, because they're often going to rely on the office sending some of those automatically. Some agents may, though. If we go back to one of your questions of what's the size difference, the size difference in your postcards is going to be right under the specs. That's why I couldn't find it before. It's actually in two different places, but you're not going to get this question a whole lot unless this agent has someone doing marketing for them and they want to actually customize their own postcard with their own images, their own language, what have you, in order to actually send a card. The only time you need to know the difference in the sizes, which is here, jumbo versus the standard, is when they are actually custom creating their own postcards to send. I don't know any agents who actually do that, but this is where you guys found the difference in the sizes, okay? And then the last thing that you may get questions on is actual the trigger marketing. What is trigger marketing? Well, trigger marketing is a way for an agent to easily do social media marketing based upon a listing they may have. So it will allow automated posts to go to their website or their Facebook page, excuse me, if they have a business Facebook page. All right, so the first thing they need to do is they have to put in their business Facebook page. Okay, the URL has to be in this program. Whether they do it first or do it second, doesn't matter. They have to have a business Facebook page, and that URL has to be in here for them to go ahead and use the trigger marketing. Okay, so this is solely Facebook. This is solely social media. It's basically a set it and forget it for agents who don't have the time, they don't have the skill, they don't have the desire to go ahead and do this for themselves. So when they go in here, they can see their different properties, and they can choose which property, sales or listings, they want to do social media posts on their business page about. So you can see this one is a most recent sale, this one is a most recent listing. So if I go ahead and I want to do a social media trigger marketing campaign, I'm just going to start my order. And is it for a listing or is it for the open house that I have scheduled? Two different types of Facebook social media posts. They simply start the order. They're going to choose how long they want the campaign to run. This is an example of what would be put automatically on their business page for them. How long do they want the campaign to run? 3 days, 7 days, or 14? And you can see the cost differential. 3 days is $69, 7 days is $139, 14 is $249. So an agent who has the money, doesn't have the time, this is an easy way for them to promote their sales and listings on their social media, their business Facebook page, a kind of set it and forget it if that's what they want to do. Okay. When they actually use the trigger marketing through Quantum Digital, which is Postcards Plus, they will potentially get leads. And those leads will show up in here if the individuals who receive the postcards are taking action through a QR code or clicking on it on the Facebook link, whatever it might be, that Facebook link, and it's going to come back to this dashboard. I don't know how many agents are actually using this because of the cost, but it does have the lead generation component part of it. So that actually concludes the assignments that you were asked to complete in regards to Postcards Plus. Does anyone have any questions?
I do.
Dave?
This is Dave T. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very well, thank you. So there's this thing where we have to change. You might have went over this. I was trying to get into Zoom like many times, and I just had to get it on my phone. So in order, they send me their trigger marketing things that they get to send their 49 cards. They're just listed or just sold. But I have to go into their profile, change their profile to realtor instead of a sales associate. I have to take their phone number and move it to the top phone number and move the other phone number down and then hit save. And then for the rest of the day, it'll be fine. It will reset the very next day because those cards, if I leave the number the way it is, On the front, it'll have the Alaskan Road office number as opposed to their number. And it'll say sales associate as opposed to realtor with all their, ABR, CBR, CBS, all those numbers, all those, signs. I talked to the guy at Trigger Marketing online, and he said it's something to do with Howard Hanna's websites that they set up for the agents. And then that they have it all set up different for those cards. And I was thinking, I'm like, well, there's no way Howard Hanna's going to switch all that way around, switch their emails and all that stuff. Is there any way to get the Trigger Market people, if someone goes to their profile and changes their name and changes everything, to have it stay, not have to do it every time? Because that's kind of what's holding up some of my agents of doing it themselves, because if they didn't have to change that, all they have to do is click, 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 and they'd be done. But now they have to go to their profile, change their name, change their stuff, and all that. And they have to do that every single time, every day, basically, if they have one going every day. Have you heard anything about that?
Where are they changing it? What
You
profile?
go to the top right, and it's profile.
And over here?
Yeah, the top right should, under your picture, click on your picture. And then the Zoom window is kind of covering their top right, but your picture, you would click on your picture and you would go under my profile or profiles. Yes, and then you go down. No, I don't know if that's it. It would be your picture, and you can edit. You hit the edit button. So let me see if I can move my little, oh yeah, I can move that. So under your little picture, you should be able to click on it, and my profile right there. And then there should be an edit button. Is there an edit button in there? Maybe yours is different.
Yeah, I don't see one. And it could be because this is not my account.
Well, I go in, go Hannah, and I have, impersonate each person because it gives me the list of the sales associates, and I click on them, and then their little picture comes up, and then I click on their picture, maybe right click on it.
On the photo down
on the
here?
Photo, on the picture in the top right. No, that's not it. Maybe just single click on it. My profile, and then when you hit my profile, nothing comes up.
This is what I get.
Okay, ours is different. It comes up and it has edit, and then I go into that, and then I can change the phone numbers. And what it has is the number of the office first, and then the number of the agent second. But if I left that alone, the front of the card would have the office number. So I switched those numbers, and then I have to change their name from sales associate to realtor, because it sounds more prestigious, obviously. And then, comma, ABR, comma, and all that. So that way, and then I hit save. So to save that for the day, that's it. And then I go and click on the email they sent, edit, and I hit edit, not just send. And then that brings up everything that we do. You click on modify order, and you look at it. And then if it's right, then you send it. But if I didn't do all that work, the postcard would say the phone number for the office on the front, and it would say sales associate. Even if I had changed it weeks before, I have to change it every day. Does anyone else have this issue, or am I the only one doing this?
Anyone speak up?
Come on,
Help
admins.
Anyone else? Go ahead.
I have the same issue. I actually was asking about that today.
Okay.
So it only keeps it for 24 hours, and they want their cell number on the front of the card.
Is there any way that you can be someone else in your
See, I can go back.
your office?
I can go back to my dashboard, and I can be any associate.
Yeah, choose anyone, and then we could probably see, you can. Now go and click on her picture. And you don't click on change photo. Maybe it'll come up with that. I don't understand why you have you don't have the little edit button. Oh, that's weird. Because we have the edit button.
More.
Dave,
So that's something you have to look into. Maybe you need admin rights.
well, no, this is Nita from the Southeast region. Dave and Karen, you're both in your Southeast admin staff. I'm wondering if this is a legacy carryover from when it's, because we had some changes made to the Postcards Plus program when we shifted from the one we had as the company we were before we became Howard Hanna, and we moved over here. This may be something that is very specific to the Southeast region.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
Do you know who we talked to get them to just say leave it as is and not switch every, what is the reason why it's switching over every day?
Yeah, I understand the question. Now, I don't know, but let me do some sleuthing. I'll run the question up a couple of channels and see what I can find out for you.
Thank you, Nita.
Okay.
And I actually have another question, sorry. So
no, you can't ask anymore. No, Dave, you can't. Go ahead.
It's just a quick one. Why can't we get the just listed cards that go out quickly into the jumbo cards just listed? Because in the jumbo cards just listed are different than the ones that are sent from the email. They're two different cards.
My guess is that there's a default setting for what the company will pay for. That's my guess, but I cannot.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's my guess, is that they're only going to pay for the standard and the jumbo costs more. So that's my best
That
guess.
makes sense. Okay. I'm done, Nita.
Hey, David.
Good job, Dave. Anyone else?
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else have other questions? Hopefully that I might be able to answer by demonstrating something, but if not, that's okay. All right. Well, good luck to all of you in using Postcards Plus. I know that you're probably doing it on a daily basis, and you're probably only doing it for the just listed and the just sold for the agents. You're probably not going to get a lot of questions from the agents. I don't know that a lot of them use this, but I appreciate your time, your patience, and again, I wish you a happy holiday season. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good day. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.